I did a mistake that did cost me a lot of money when I was renting out an office here in UAE. In today's video, I'm going to share with you my experience and walk you through the process of how a commercial investment vis-a-vis a commercial rental works here in Dubai. And if you are also somebody like me, an entrepreneur trying to save money and trying also to build a business here, then these tips will be really helpful for you. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Shireen Kapoor. I'm a legal consultant and a commercial investment expert here in the UAE. So because I do first-hand work here, I live here, my business is here. So kind of I understand this market really well. The first thing I want to talk about is your goal. Now it's very important. When I started my business, I really wanted to understand what kind of my clientele would have been, if I want to buy it, if I can even afford buying it, or I want to start with renting an office apartment. And then once my business grows, then I gradually want to buy an office for myself and my team. And also I would say very important is for you to know the kind of business you are into. If you are into a service industry business, people will usually in the UAE market like to come to office, meet and see the face behind the trade license and would like to do business with you. And in my business, obviously trust and credibility is very important, and that's why I want people to come engage with me and my team so that they know what kind of service they are going to get delivered. So my goal was very clear. I need an office space that accesses a lot of people, walk-ins, etc., people coming in the office, as well as they understand, as well as the location is not somewhere remote, it's centrally located. So that is very important. Location as a central location, depending on the kind of business, is very important. After you've decided your goal and your location, now location I will tell you how it works. Specifically, if you are a mainland company or a free zone company with an NOC to operate in the mainland, you would probably looking at investments or at renting out an office in the mainland area, because that is where majorly a lot of your people, clientele, teams will be having easier access. Now, when you're doing office rentals, what you need to make sure is the accessibility to the metro station, because that is the key for your staff to reach. The buses can come, the car lift can come, but usually people need metro access, and from there they will take the bus, etc. That accessibility trade should be in your mind, and that was very clear for me. I really wanted to be in Business Bay because I think the Business Bay area itself is a business hub, and no matter how many areas come and go, even though Business Bay is very fragmented, but I still feel it is the business hub. And now even in Business Bay, there are areas where you need to know what kind of office will look fine, if it's in your budget, it's not near the traffic area like peak traffic zones. So those things I knew because I was operating here since for 5 years, so I know this area pretty well. The second point is the service charges and your budget itself. Now, when I say the landlord, if you are renting out, the landlord would usually cover everything, including service charges, etc. But what you also need to know is the tax applicable to a commercial deal. A commercial deal will always have VAT applicable to it, and that's what you need to be mindful of, whether you're buying, whether you're renting. And for me, also the service charges that was included in my amount that I was going to pay in the rental amount, I wanted to make sure it covers everything. And especially if I'm paying that amount, I need to have access to those kind of services in the tower. Maintenance of the tower, entry of the tower, how the client's impressions are going to be. All this was really crucial for me. But of course, specifically in Business Bay area, what you will see is that not all towers will be very good. But some of the towers which are not like, too much in the property finder, etc. But if you go deep down and they have some vacancy, you will understand those towers are at a good price plus available as well, because you need that kind of services and that kind of maintenance for your tower. So the service charges, accessibility of how the services are going to be provided, plus the fact that if it suits overall your budget is very important. So always make sure that you know what kind of service charges you are entering and it's covered in your rental amount. Another frustrating thing I've seen specifically here, because I am talking about my experience today. So another problem that I would say we all kind of face in towers in Business Bay is the lift issue. Now, the elevator waiting time can really be very annoying for the client, for the team to reach on time in the morning, and that was also an integral part. But of course, not everyone will get everything. You will have some peak hours, and you will have some less peak hours. So usually I will manage my team in a manner that can come 15 minutes early or can come 15 minutes late, so that I know that at the peak time they are not wasting their time waiting for the elevator. Also, what I think is that the number of elevators in the tower will really help you in understanding this. Like, there is single business tower here in Business Bay which has so many lifts that it becomes very easy, and plus they some lifts they are designated for some floor areas. So again, that controls lift traffic, and that is very good for the clients, and that is very good for the team as well. The fourth point I think is very important, and you need to keep that cost also in your mind, is whether you are going for an office which is fully furnished or whether you're going for an office which is shell and core. If it's shell and core, you can imagine that there is a furnishing cost, there is hidden charges that you cannot foresee right now, but include that in your budget. Maybe the division of the office is not in the way that you want, so that kind of also adds to your expense. So if you are going for a fitted office, then if it's properly fitted, etc., and it's covering your cost, it's like in the rental amount, it's included the furnished, that for some people works. But for us, like, it did not work because we wanted to actually divide the office in our own way. We wanted some cabins to be confidential, some cabins to be open spaces. So it really depends on the kind of business you're into. But also, if you get a good contractor and they are able to get the permit, because all these kind of renovations will require permit from the tower, and if they're able to get it, then you just need to make sure that you get the good contractor in a cost effective manner. But this fit out and shell and core can different price difference can be around 100 to 300 per square feet. And finally, when you have decided the kind of rental agreement that you're going to get into, the place is final, everything as per your need is final, then what you need to make sure is that all these pointers are very well covered in your tenancy agreement. Now, your tenancy agreement will talk about penalties, notice, early termination, all those things you need to be careful about, because tomorrow if you are going into any legal issue, then the contract will prevail, and this tenancy contract is because you have signed. I also, because I know a lot of things, cases happen here, and that's why I always tell that make sure if you're dealing with the POA of the landlord, then the POA has the proper authorization. You check the POA, get it verified, because sometimes you will be transferring money to the POA's account, and maybe then that later becomes an issue in itself. Okay, and the landlord still has a right to claim the money from the tenant. So all these things need to be careful about. There are commercial, it's a good commercial booming market. For investment, I have a different perspective, but for rental, I have a different perspective. Today's video was more about on if first hand information on. In today's video, I wanted to actually discuss personal hand information of leasing an office here in the Business Bay, specifically in commercial market in the UAE. But if you have any other questions related to commercial investments or commercial leasing or any legal matter, you can get in touch with me. My details are in the description. And if you have any thoughts, please put it in the comment section. I would also appreciate if you share this video with anybody you think is going to start a business in Dubai or just wanting to move to Dubai. Thank you.